open the meeting for the City Commission for Thursday, August 17th at Commission Chambers Municipal and Safety Building. Tonight we have Pastor Jacob Bouvier from Grace Fellowship Church that's going to do our invocation. If you'll please stand for that and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Greetings, Manager, Commissioners, Vice Mayor, Mayor. Honored and delighted to lead the invocation this evening. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you knowing that you care for us, that you hear our cries, and that your heart races to respond to our prayers. We praise you for your goodness, your faithfulness, your kindness, and we call on you now to fulfill your promises of redemption and restoration in and through us. We ask you for your favor in our city, that your hand would guide us to form the kind of community that bears the fruit of your Spirit, that we would be a place marked by love and joy and peace, and that we would use our positions of influence and authority to advocate for our neighbors with justice, mercy, and compassion. Heal the division in our land and protect us from the threats that would seek to destroy our unity. Gracious Lord, bless our leaders and their families. Give them wisdom as they navigate the complexities of civil service. Give them courage as they press into the pain and brokenness that comes with community leadership. And give them endurance to keep loving this city with faithfulness and integrity. Remind them, O God, that there is nothing to defend in them, that all their efforts, though for the good benefit of others, make them no more loved than they already are in Christ Jesus. We entrust all our endeavors, including this meeting, to you, knowing that you hold us and all our plans in your hands. It is in the precious and powerful name of Jesus that we ask all these things. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Ball?
Yes, Commission, your next order of business is to consider approval of the minutes for the regularly scheduled City Commission meeting held on Thursday, August 3rd, 2023.
I will say one thing. On item 3 in the minutes were the approval of the previous minutes, and they said they carried and mover and seconder, but we did not have the official vote of ayes written in that. Just needs to be included next time. Anything else? Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Laus?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
Commission, your next order of business is a proclamation. This is a presentation of a proclamation recognizing August 30th, 2023 as Missy Barrett Day.
Microphone.
Are we on now? All right. We'll try this. Whereas Elise Bruce, musician, composer, singer, songwriter, visual artist, illustrator, playwright, author, and mother, is the creator of both the Missy Barrett Adventures and the Missy Barrett Conversations book series. And whereas Missy Barrett, an adventurous, fictional 9-year-old child whose mission is to make the world a better place for all people, and whereas she believes that positive interactions are more popular and important than negative attention, and she is committed to making a difference in her community, and whereas Missy encourages people to do their best and do the right things for the right reasons, to do good deeds regardless of whether or not they are acknowledged or noticed, and whereas she is a good citizen in her local community who believes when everyone does what they can do, no matter how big or small, good things can be accomplished. Now, therefore, I, Todd Fowler, Mayor of the City of Johnson City, Tennessee, in conjunction with the national observance, do hereby proclaim August 30th, 2023 as Missy Barrett Day, a day to do good deeds. This is in Johnson City, and we urge all citizens to do a good deed for someone on August 30th, 2023, in observance of this day. So everybody, August 30th, we're going to all do a good deed. So I'll give this to you and let you speak a little bit about the book series.
Missy Barrett is a fictional 9-year-old child who lives in real-life East Tennessee. I created her a little over a decade ago, and there are now 22 books in the Missy Barrett series of books. Missy stands for doing the right thing for the right reasons. It's about helping your neighbor. It's about not caring about bringing attention to yourself and say, look what I just did. It's about caring about how to make the world a better place, because heaven knows there is enough ugliness and anger and negativity out there. And I appreciate everybody, especially today, the people of Johnson City, who are getting on board with this initiative, so that on Wednesday, August 30th, 2023, there's going to be lots of good deeds done, but even better, there's going to be more good deeds done than usually gets done in this area. So I appreciate that, and I have brought something. This is book 21, The Prince of Moreland and the Secret Diplomatic Mission, which is about fire and wildfire safety. And so I hope that you find a wonderful place for that book to live, possibly a public library. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And we will find a good place for that. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Commission, your next order of business includes street closures, and we have a number of them tonight. So I'll ask Ms. Lindsay Jones to come forward. The first one is item 6. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think we have anybody signed up under public comment, but Mayor, you may need to make a comment about that.
Yes, the state has mandated that we do a public comment at the first of the meeting to do with anything that's an actionable item on our agenda. We did not have anyone sign up tonight for it, but if in the future you would like to sign up for this, if you'll do it within 24 hours of our meeting, you can talk about anything actionable on the item. We had this done last time, and we're going to keep doing it because the state has asked us to do that, so we will have public comment. There wasn't anyone signed up, so we're not opening the floor tonight for that. We will have some things that we open the floor up for some of our actionable items later for public comment, but not general right now.
Right. Thank you, Commissioner Hunter. So under road closures, the first road closure request is the UMOJA Festival and Parade. And Ms. Jones is here. Mr. Bradley.
All right. UMOJA Festival has requested intermittent closures of Jackson Avenue, West Unaka Avenue, West Main Street, and Boone Street as outlined in the provided site plan for Saturday, September 9th from 10:45 to 12:30 p.m. for the festival parade. They have also requested closures on Millard, King, and Commerce Street for their festival footprint from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. We've reviewed the site plan. Police and Public Works find it appropriate and recommend approval.
Move approval.
I have a motion in 2 seconds, whichever one you'd like there, Ms. Louse. And any discussion? All right, Ms. Louse.
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes. Joe, would you like to talk about the
Sure.
festival a little bit?
Yes, I'd like to invite everybody out to this is our 26th year of the UMOJA Festival. We're the longest running festival in Johnson City. And we'd like to invite everybody out. We'll have a parade. It's September the 9th at Kings Common Park. Our parade starts at 11 o'clock at Carver. We would like to see all you guys there. Okay? And then after the parade, we'll have a opening ceremony at 12 o'clock. And then something new we added this year is a dunking tank. So I'm sure there's some people.
No. Absolutely not,
I'm
Joe.
sure there's people here.
I've done it before.
I see where this is going. I did that once.
And see, I play a little baseball, so I could like to see you guys there. But everybody's gonna have a good time. Bring your chairs. You're gonna have a lot of good music, merchandise, a lot of good food. So Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Joe, can you promise us this year it will not rain? Because we
Man,
did
we hope
march in the
not.
parade.
I
didn't
think
we,
the last 2 years
city
it's rained,
manager?
and you guys got soaked
It
last year.
rained hard, yeah, but it
I
was
appreciate
fun.
you guys marching, you know, in the parade anyway, so.
Joe, I just want to say we appreciate you and what your organization stands for, which is to strive for and maintain unity within the community, regardless of race or nationality. So you guys have done this many years, and we just want to thank you for your service.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next road closure is for the Goose Chase, the downtown mile.
And Karen Hubbs could not be here tonight, so I'll be doing her closures alone. All right, the downtown mile is actually a rescheduled date. They had some really bad weather on the first one in June. So they have requested intermittent temporary closures of East Main Street, East Market Street, South Rome Street, Water Street, Buffalo Street, Tipton, and Spring Street for the downtown mile on Thursday, September 14th from 5 to 8 p.m. The Special Events Committee, including Police and Public Works, have reviewed the site plan and find the closures safe and appropriate. We recommend approval.
Move approval.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Laus?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
And the next road closure is also for the Goose Chase, but it is called the Scarecrow Skedaddle.
The Goose Chase requests intermittent temporary closures for the Scarecrow Skedaddle on Sunday, October 22nd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Commerce, East King, Elm, East Fairview, Hale, East Myrtle, West Fairview, and Montgomery Street. The Special Events Committee, including Police and Public Works, have reviewed and approved the closures as safe and appropriate. We recommend approval.
Move for approval.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Laus?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
The next road closure for the Goose Chase is the S'mores Run.
The Goose Chase has requested a soft closure of Van Brocklin Way for their s'mores run on Sunday, November 5th from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. The race will take place on the Tweetsie Trail. The Special Events Committee, including Police and Public Works, have reviewed the site plan and find it safe and appropriate. We recommend approval.
Move for approval.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion other than the s'mores are at the end after you've run?
I think so.
I hope so.
I think it's at the barbecue place.
Right off the
Yeah.
trail.
Yep. Ms. Laus?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
And the final road closure request for tonight is the Goose Chase Jingle 5K.
The Goose Chase has requested intermittent temporary closures of Commerce, King, Elm, Fairview, New Street, Myrtle Avenue, Millard Street, and Boone Street for their Jingle 5K on Sunday, December 10th from 3 to 6:30 p.m. The Special Events Committee, including Police and Public Works, have reviewed the site plan and found them safe and appropriate. We recommend approval.
Move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Laus?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
Commissioners, your next order of business,
Thanks.
thank you, Ms. Jones. The next order of business is consideration of the consent agenda.
All right, I will start on my right tonight.
No, thank you. I have
You want-
nothing to pull.
All right.
No, sir.
Vice Mayor? No, I don't have anything.
No.
None? None. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Laus?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
Commissioners, the next order of business is under item number 8, which is ordinances. These are second readings and public hearings. We have our Assistant City Manager, Mr. Trivett, who'll be helping us with the clock and the 3 minutes. So if folks coming up to speak would refer down to the timer that Mr. Trivett has. So the first item is 8.1, ordinance 4860-23. Again, this is the second reading and public hearing. It's an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the city of Johnson City, Tennessee by changing from the R4 and MS districts to the B4 district for property located at the end of Clinchville Street. Rezoning number 1109. Rogers.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The request is to rezone the property hatched in the picture from R4 and MS1 to the B4 district. There will also be a right-of-way abandonment and a future plat, and you'll hear the right-of-way abandonment after this one. The previous approval was to rezone 3 lots on the west side of Clinchfield in December from R4 to MS1. And this is the approved concept plan associated with that. It shows a 4-story, 124-room hotel and abandonment of a portion of Clinchfield. And there was also a 10-foot wide public trail that was going to be dedicated through the site right here to meet back up with what was remaining of Clinchfield. Since then, they realized that they had not planned enough space for the stormwater detention area and needed to add property into the project. So just for an idea, this is what was involved in the previous approval, the previous concept plan, and this is the new addition property. The concept plan is very similar. There's still a 4-story, 124-room hotel. The layout is a little bit modified. There's a little bit of an additional right-of-way abandonment request area, and then the stormwater detention pond is over here. When they acquired this property, they realized that they had a little bit of extra space, so they proposed to put in maybe a future office space with some parking. And that trail and easement, you'll see, does not come through and connect back up anymore. However, it is going to be realigned. The applicant is going to, this is the existing alignment of that trail. It comes from State of Franklin, down Clinchfield, onto a city-owned property, and then connects out to Novus Drive. And the developer is going to widen the sidewalk on State of Franklin so that the trail connects directly to Novus Drive. The comprehensive future land use map shows the property plan for medical technical. Yeah. Both of the proposed uses, the office and the extended stay hotel, those are both allowed in both the MS and the B4 district. So it doesn't really have like an effect. We have a number of policies that promote infill developments and commercial developments. No neighbors came to our neighbor meeting. There's a number of reasons that staff recommends approval, and the Planning Commission voted 8-0 to recommend approval. Oh, sorry. And I can answer any questions that you have.
Just one of, on the old trail, the former trail, is it going to stay in existence and perhaps be accessible for walking or anything like that?
Yes, the portion of the trail that's on the city property, there's no effect to that portion of the trail.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the developer expanding the sidewalk, and you still can get over to Market Street, from there.
All right, if nothing else, I will open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak, if they'll come forward, give your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Open the public hearing. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing.
Move approval.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Ms. Laus.
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
Commissioners, the next order of business is item number 8.2. This is ordinance number 4861-23. This is again the second reading and public hearing. It's an ordinance to abandon a portion of the public right-of-way known as Clinchfield Street upon the terms and conditions contained herein and repeal all ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith. Ms. Rogers.
So this is that right-of-way abandonment that I just preluded us to. The request area is about 75 additional feet of right-of-way at the southern terminus of Clinchfield Street. And the reason that it looks like this in this picture here is because the property hasn't been replatted to combine it into a single lot. They wanted to wait until they got everything figured out before, so they wouldn't have to replat again. There's no potential transportation impact. The property below is a city-owned property with access to Novus Drive. And as we just talked about, the trail is going to be realigned along State of Franklin. And this just shows you the previous area of abandonment by the December ordinance and the new request area. So there is a Bright Ridge facility, but it's going to be relocated, and the things attached to it will be relocated or abandoned, as indicated by the people who own them. And then there's like a water sewer line that runs through that area that's being abandoned. And when the applicant comes in and does their site plan, they will reroute those lines and put new easements on the plat that is associated with that. So everything will just get moved. And staff recommends approval, and the planning commission recommended approval.
Again, this is a second reading with a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion in 2 seconds, Ms. Laus, whichever one you would like to choose. And would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
Next item, Commissioners, is ordinance 4862-23. This is the second reading and public hearing. It's an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the city of Johnson City, Tennessee by changing from RP3 district to the R5 district for property located along Knob Creek Road between West Mountain View Road and Knob Creek. This is rezoning number 1105. Ms. Rogers, thank you again.
Thank you. So the applicant would like to rezone this property from the RP3 to the R5 for construction of an apartment complex. This is a couple of views from the site, from the street and the air. The previous approval was in January of 2022, and that was from B4 to RP3, and they had planned to put in 178 townhomes. Since then, the property has been purchased by another person, and this is the proposal. 324 apartments with amenities, landscape yard, and all of the requirements for a concept plan shown. And we talked about this also at the first reading. There are some city planned improvements to both Mountain View and Knob Creek in the area. Mountain View is going to be expanded to 3 lanes, so it'll have a center turn lane and some intermittent right turn lanes as needed. And then Knob Creek, with funding from the state, is going to be expanded to 5 lanes with center turn lane. And so we'll zoom in to the Mountain View entrance for the project. And here you'll see that they're going to put in the deceleration right turn lane into their driveway. They're not putting in the left turn lane because the city is going to come in and put those improvements in. But they will be installing the sidewalk in the public right-of-way that's there. And then the entrance from Knob Creek, this is a shared entrance with the FBI building that's located right over here, the shared entrance. They are not going to be installing the sidewalk here. They're going to pay the fee in lieu because the city's going to come in sometime in the future and put in all those road improvements. So that'll help pay for that. And also, they're going to be installing a temporary left turn pocket so that in the interim between when this gets built and when those city improvements get done, we won't get backups at that tunnel just downstream. So the future land use map shows the site to be proposed for commercial, but if we look at all of the area that was rezoned, or not rezoned, that was annexed in this West Mountain View Road annexation, almost all of it north of Knob Creek has been rezoned to residential. So it's the thing that seems more appropriate in the area according to the trend of development there. And the site is appropriate for high-density residential. It's on the corner of two collectors. It's next to a major commercial area. And it would also create sort of a transition between that major commercial area and the medium-density residential located to the north. And we have policies that support. And staff and the planning commission recommend approval. And I can answer any questions.
I'll ask one, but I think maybe Mr. Trivett might need to answer to Mrs. Ball. We've already done some work out on Oakland and Mountain View, or Knob Creek and Mountain View. What is the projected timeline for us to complete, or at least get started on the 5 lanes and the 3 lanes over on that West Mountain View? And I know it's probably dependent on the tunnel too as well.
It is. The work we're starting on West Oakland, we're planning on starting internally. We've been doing surveying. We were having to build a new bridge, so the design's been done on the bridge, putting it out to bid for a third party. And we're gonna do the actual road work, working with water sewer to relocate their lines, starting October the 1st. That's our plan right now on the West Oakland, down near Marketplace Road. And then phase 2 of that will be straightening that curve up as we go up to the top, and then making the 3 lanes into Mountain View on the top side, all the way over to Knob Creek. That'll be phase 2. The Knob Creek Road, converting it into 5 lanes, we're doing the design work and obtaining the easements. And right now, we're still working with the railroad to get easement approvals from the railroad. Once we get all that done, and we're hoping to have everything completed by the end of this calendar year, so that we can turn that over to TDOT. And TDOT's gonna fund and manage that project. Once we get it turned over to them by the end of this year, they will put it in their 3-year plan for starting next year. They usually do that. It comes out in April. Once that gets into their 3-year plan, then they'll start work on getting all the funding sources in place and putting it out to contract it to be built. Now, the part from Mesba Hills to Boones Creek is part of this same program, but it's just a different phase. It's already in the TDOT's 3-year plan, but they want to do the tunnel first because you don't want to bring all that traffic to a single lane tunnel. So that's why they're waiting to get all this done with us now. The delay is because we're working with the railroad, and we've submitted 3 or 4 design plans to them for their review, and the easements keep coming back changed, or other comments come back. We have to work on those comments, submit them back to the railroad for approval. But we're so close now, we feel like by the end of this year, we'll be able to turn this entire project over to TDOT. Now, once we get it turned over to TDOT, I think it's important to note that it could take 5 to 6 years before we actually see progress out there, just based on the economy and the number of projects they got. Any other questions?
I will again open this second reading with a public hearing. So I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak? Come forward. Just state your name and your address for us, please.
Matthew Paul. I live at 126 Sarah's Way, and I'm one of the founding members of Ride JC, as I said last time. So one of the things I was thinking about is that bridge is very harrowing in a car, and I wanted to know if there was any plans to include things like a bike lane or some walking amenities to help allow people in that area as we're adding more housing and as we're kind of really building in that area. I want to make sure that we're not stuck driving cars all the time and right through there. Anyone who may choose to not have a car or who doesn't choose to not have a car, what are we going to do for them to allow them to get around to really engage with our city? So, thank you.
Anyone else?
You want to address that?
You want me to answer that?
Oh, if you would like, if you have an answer to it, that's great.
I would love to hear the answer.
That's being taken into consideration. One of the things we're working on is to get permission from the railroad to leave the tunnel open, but to only make it a pedestrian trail that would connect people so they could actually walk along that way and then get to the sidewalks without having to go across the flyover bridge and the overpass. So that's what we're looking at right now. Instead of filling in the tunnel, that we narrow it down and support it to make it a trail. But we'll have to get railroad permission to do that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing.
Move approval. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Ms. Laps?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
Commission, that concludes all the second readings. Next, you have one ordinance for consideration under third reading, and there is no public comment on it. This is ordinance number 4859-23. This is FY 2023 supplemental budget ordinance, and this is from the Budget Office. I think we have Mr. Thompson here to answer any questions you may have.
I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Otherwise, there have been no changes through these readings, and we recommend approval on final reading.
I have a question for you, Justin, but for the mayor, may I make a motion to approve?
You may.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Laps?
Commissioner Brock?
Thank you. Again. Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes, and thank you, Dustin. There you go.
Thank
That's
you.
what you.
I was getting ready to say that.
Good answers.
Yeah.
Commission, the next order of business under other is to consider approval to accept the school resource officer, or we refer to it as SRO project grant. We have Major Carrier with us today, and as he comes up, I'm going to do kind of an introduction. And I think this may be the first time that Major Carrier has been able to come before the commission as a new major within the department. He has 31 years of
Yes, ma'am.
service.
Yes, ma'am, 31.
And so has worked his way through the department and has done an excellent job, and we're glad to have him serving as major over administration. I'll let you know a little bit about this. We were, in June, the state approved allowing funding up to $75,000 per public school and charter school for there to be a commitment of a school resource officer. We have 11 schools that qualify under this, so that means we have allocation and the ability to collect $825,000 for this. At this point in time, we have school resource officers currently. We are looking to be able to use this money to pay for those officers that we currently have up to that amount, which includes their salaries, their benefits, training, as well as equipment.
Yes,
Is
ma'am,
that
that's
right?
correct. Yes, ma'am.
We are also in the process of exploring other ways that we could potentially use some of the money that is offset to be able to help with safety and doing it in a very professional way. And you may talk a little bit about how we're going about evaluating that.
Yes, ma'am, and good evening. We're currently in the process of getting some quotes on some equipment that can be used primarily to harden the target. That includes some ballistic film that can be put up. We've also looked at the gun safes. We've looked at some options of sending officers off for training. But at this point in time, we're still in the gathering information stage of this, because our intention is at some point we want to be able to come forward with a comprehensive plan as to an idea as to how we can spend this money that will best benefit the school system. So we want to work closely with Dr. Wallace and all in coming to those and seeing how we can best meet the needs of the school system and be good stewards of this money that we've been given then.
Major.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Brock.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Brock.
the training for SROs, is that done locally, or are there national packages that we use?
Yes, ma'am. The NASRO, the conference is held each year in July, and typically what happens is Dr. Wallace will go with, we have 12 SROs, they'll go with 6. He'll take 6 one year and then 6 at another year to go to the NASRO conference, which is kind of the standard that is set for the school resource officer program throughout the country.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, and just to let everybody know, we are way ahead of the curve. The state is funding resource officers for schools across the state.
Yes.
But we're already doing it, so this is
Yes.
helping us by funding the people that we've already been funding, plus we can use this money to do other things to make our schools safer. So it's a really great thing for us, and thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, Mayor.
Do we need to move on that or do anything?
Yes. Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Ms. Laus?
Commissioner Brock?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wise?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mayor Fowler?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Major.
much.
And that is all of the items that the staff has for tonight.
So I'll start with my left on this. Commissioner
Nothing to
Hunter.
add tonight. Thank you, though, Mayor.
Commissioner Brock.
Meet the Mountains, start
Starts
beginning tomorrow, out at Wingdeer Park. I think hopefully it'll be a nice weather weekend, and, I think they're prepared for thousands of people to show up, and a lot of new events out there since it's on the waterfront, so hope to see everybody there.
Vice Mayor? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. I'd like to bring to our attention of a community event that will be taking place this Saturday, August 19th at 5 p.m. at Carver Park. A gentleman who's here presently, Julius Anderson, along with other community partners, they'll be hosting a movie under the stars, the Super Mario, the latest movie. So I want to invite you all to support these efforts to provide some good entertainment for the community. So again, it'll be on this Saturday, August 19th at 5 p.m. at Cardinal Park. And Brother Julius, we thank you for your community service and all the value that you're adding to our citizens here in Johnson City.
Thank you. Commissioner Wise? Football season starts tomorrow night. Elizabethton versus Science Hill at Science Hill Stadium at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I will be standing on the sideline for my 30-something year. But anyway, for a lot of years been on there. So that's tomorrow night. And so do the Meet the Mountains, do the Super Mario movie, and support our local high school. So please come out to do that tomorrow night. If nothing else, I will close the meeting.
40 minutes.